Cenk Uygur is running for president in 2024. This is crazy, and I have to say, I've seen a couple of interviews with Cenk. You know, he was on the Valuetainment podcast. He was on another podcast, The Culture War, with Tim Pool. I watched that one. I was real interested, man. I was really surprised that I actually agree with Cenk Uygur on several issues. Blew me away. I will say, he has Trump derangement. He's got a very, very bad case of Trump derangement syndrome. But for the most part, we can agree on a few things. And honestly, I'm thinking about supporting him a little bit, you know, because he is very, very anti-establishment. And the anti-establishment sentiment right now is stronger than it's ever been. And like he says, we can disagree all day long, but we need to come together. We need to have those disagreements because we need to focus on where we do agree. That should be our main focus, not where we disagree. The disagreements, we can work those out. There's this thing called compromise that humans have the ability to we can come together and we can form a solution that nobody is happy with, but we can all live with. If that makes any sense to you guys. But I just wanted to throw that out there. I found that very interesting, and I find that he has a pretty good message. Like I said, I disagree with a lot of what he says. He has Trump derangement real bad. If he didn't have the Trump derangement so bad, I think he could see a little bit more clear. But he has Trump derangement, man. He is really bad with Trump derangement. He really thinks that if Trump gets elected again, that we're not going to have elections anymore at all, and that Trump is going to be the new dictator. He said in the Valuetainment podcast that there's a 50% chance we'll never have an election again. That is completely ridiculous, and I couldn't help but laugh at it because it's like, come on, dude, really? The establishment wants that guy gone. I'm not even gonna get into that, y'all. I'm not even going to get into that because it's just such a ridiculous argument. But like I said, we need to take the money out of politics. That is where the corruption of our congressmen, of our senators, of Joe Biden, obviously Joe Biden, that is where the corruption takes place. And you take a look at somebody like Matt Gaetz. When he first came into politics, he immediately got on board with this PAC money and all this, and these PACs and these super PACs are funded by the large corporations, and that just shows you. But take Matt Gaetz, for instance. He came in and, you know, he took some money from them and blah blah blah. Once he realized what was going on with this, he quit taking money from those PACs, and he actually started being honest. When you find a congressman that is willing to tell the truth, somebody like Matt Gaetz, somebody like Chip Roy, they're willing to go and say, look, this establishment BS is killing our country. It's killing our democracy. That is the true threat to democracy. People like Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, Mitch McConnell, Lindsey Graham, all these people need to be gone. Bye-bye. See you later. Have a nice day. How's it going? What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? I hope y'all are having a good day. This is Logical Response. I know that was kind of a long-winded intro, but hey, as intros go, they can get long-winded when it comes to me because I don't know when to shut up sometimes. And if you need to tell me to shut up, we have a comment section. Please leave a comment and tell me if you would like a shorter intro or if you like those long-winded rants that I have that make my job a lot harder because editing and all that good stuff. But how's your day going? I hope it's going pretty good. We're doing all right over here. We are doing all right over here. So I'm sure you heard they found the guy that did the mass shooting or whatever up in Maine, found him dead. So that just means that there's not going to be a resolution to a lot of those people, a lot of those families affected by that. I pray for those people's sanity. I pray that they can find some sort of resolution, but it always seems to happen when these people take their own lives. It's like you don't really get a resolution. It's like you don't find out, it was a needless death regardless, but I don't know. I hate talking about stuff like that, man. It's just so depressing, but every single time we have one of these situations, what do the Democrats do? They stand on top of it and they start pushing their damn talking points with taking assault rifles. And that's what we got today. Who knew it? Biden was going to come out and say we need to ban assault rifles, which all evidence points away from that we shouldn't be banning assault rifles. It's the stupidest thing, in my opinion. Alright, let's take, for instance, you have an outbreak of COVID-19, right? To fix this, the Democrats are proposing flu vaccinations. Doesn't make any sense, right? Well, that's the same thing we got going on with these assault weapon bans. I don't even like saying assault weapon because they're just rifles. They're semi-automatic rifles. They're no more potent than a handgun of the same caliber. They might be a little bit more accurate, but they're no more potent at all. And when you have statistics that prove, I think it's like 85, it's up there. It's a large percentage of these mass shootings are done with handguns. But you never hear the Democrats going after handguns. I'm sure a lot of them would love to just get rid of all weapons whatsoever, but you can't do that. That's an impossibility. And it doesn't make any sense to punish law-abiding citizens that haven't done anything with something like that. We have a constitutional right to carry and hold our firearms, and we can't let that go. People just won't let that go. They love guns too much. I don't have a gun. I'll come out and say that I'm not a gun person, but I am a Constitution person. Let's get into it before we go too long. I mean, I'm already at like 8 minutes. Jesus Christ, just talking. So we're going to try to run through this right quick. Biden asks, who the hell needs a high-capacity assault weapon after the Maine shooting? President Biden questioned the need for high-capacity magazines for assault weapons on Friday amid calls for a new gun control legislation after a mass shooting in Maine. Who the hell needs an assault weapon that can hold, in some cases, up to 100 rounds? Biden said at a campaign reception Friday evening. His comments come after a gunman killed at least 18 people and injured 13 in Lewiston, Maine on Wednesday evening, sparking renewed calls for gun control legislation and an assault weapon ban, which doesn't make any sense. Like I've said before, an assault weapon ban isn't going to fix the problem. Culture will fix the problem. We didn't see issues like this back in the 50s and in the 40s. Why? Because it was culturally shamed upon for people to do stuff like that, and people didn't do stuff like that. You know, we find every single one of these mass shooters and these true mass shootings, not some kind of gang violence bullshit. Every single one of these mass shootings like this, it's always a mentally deranged person that was allowed to become mentally deranged through some sort of mainstream news media narrative bullshit. It's Fox News, I'm telling you. The suspected gunman, Robert Card, was found dead late Friday after a massive manhunt. It is believed he used an assault-style weapon in the shooting. No, it's not really believed. I mean, there's video evidence of this and pictures and all that good stuff. But once again, I once again call on Republicans in Congress to fulfill their obligation to keep the American people safe. That's an impossibility. Biden said late Friday, after the suspected gunman was found. Until that day comes, I will continue to do everything in my power to end this gun violence epidemic. The Lewiston community and all Americans deserve nothing less. Yeah, you and your Democratic Party soft on crime policies have destroyed the safety in American cities, especially the big cities. I've seen this statistic before, and I'll say it again. If we get rid of the top 5 gun violence cities in America, we go from 5th in the world with gun violence to 188th. Yeah, just the top 5 cities. Let that statistic sink in for a minute. I'll give you a few seconds. After the shooting, Maine politicians committed to pursuing gun control legislation in Congress. Senator Susan Collins said Congress should pass a limit on high-capacity magazines, while Rep. Jared Golden, a Lewiston native, went a step further and backed an assault weapons ban. Golden previously opposed a ban, but changed his mind after the mass shooting. Right, exactly. That's my point about these congressmen. He changed his mind after this specific shooting, because he knows better, and he's only doing this for political brownie points. These people are corrupt, and these people are liars, and they're no good, some of them, most of them. Out of fear of this dangerous world that we live in my determination to protect my own daughter and wife in our own community because of a false confidence that our community was above this and that we could all be in full control among many other misjudgments, I have opposed efforts to ban deadly weapons of war. It's not a weapon of war. That is not the same AR-15 as you get in the military. An M4 is very different than an AR-15. I'm sorry. These weapon of war arguments are stupid. I've said it before, and the statistics prove it, that the AR-15 is, like I've said, it's no more deadly than a handgun of the same caliber. I have opposed the efforts to ban deadly weapons of war like this assault rifle used to carry out this crime, Golden said at a press conference Thursday. The time has now come for me to take responsibility for this failure, which is why I now call on the United States Congress to ban assault rifles. Never happened. Like the one used by the sick perpetrator of this mass killing in my hometown of Lewiston, Maine, he continued. For the good of my community, I will work with any colleague to get this done in the time that I have left in Congress. Yeah, he's only doing that for political brownie points. To anybody out there in Maine, in Lewiston, Maine, in this guy's district, he's only doing this to get your vote. That is the only motivation that this guy has. More votes to stay in power longer. That's it. These establishment Democrats, these establishment Republicans are only hurting the country. They don't help anybody at all. They may sound like they want to help you, but they're not. I can assure you of that. There are very few congressmen out there that are willing to stand up and tell the truth in situations like this. He didn't want an assault weapons ban because it wasn't very popular. And he knows that after a situation like this, assault weapons ban is going to be a lot more popular. So he flip-flopped his position. That's the only reason he's doing this. I can promise you that. That's the only reason that most politicians have the position that they do, is they just want to stay in power longer, and it's killing this country, man. I'm telling you. The fact that we have these corporations, funding these PACs and these super PACs, there's essentially just purchasing politicians with that money. That's all they're doing. And I'll rail on this for as long as I have to. Like I said, when somebody like me comes into agreements with somebody like Cenk Uygur, well, yeah, you know that there's something fishy going on. And there's a lot of fishy going on right now in our politics. It has been completely dismantled and rebuilt to suit corporations, essentially. That's all it is. These corporations in this country have all the power. Once they were able to start these PACs and these groups that just fund campaigns, that is the biggest problem that we have right now. It's not assault weapons. It's not the south border, the U.S.-Mexico border. It's not trans people. Definitely not trans people. It's none of those issues. It's not Trump. It's not Trump derangement. It's the corporations funding these PACs, and the fact that the military industrial complex and Google and all this can purchase politicians to do their bidding is where the problem lies. And we need to do everything we can to wake up the American population to this and put a stop to it. The American people have the power. The only problem, we need to organize, and we need to have a loud enough voice that we can make change in this country. So we need to drop all of our disagreements, and we need to focus on what we do agree on, which is tearing down the establishment and putting in the people's government back into power. That's all we got, and that's all I've got for this one, y'all. Let me know in the comments what y'all think about an assault weapons ban, and should we do it? Should we oppose it? What do you think? And thanks for watching, y'all. Don't forget to hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed. Turn on notifications so every time I pop out a video, it'll come up and you can watch it. And you can see my ugly face. But thanks for watching. You guys have a good one. And be positive. Peace.